Okay, then what do I have next? Oh, CDs. Now, Habitat will take these CDs, okay? But sometimes, for one reason, like the few that I had today was dirty and nasty, they won't take them. But the recycle will take them. So what I do is sometimes there's paper on this side, and you can leave the CD in, and you just kind of push this apart here on top, break it off, recyclable. Now this sometimes don't go back for me. I will say it never goes back, but all this is recyclable. So you kind of go like this. So
Even
everything's,
the CD itself?
the CD itself is recyclable,
Oh.
okay? So this is my recyclable. So these,
So the CD, is that plastic or is that,
yeah, that's a plastic.
that is plastic?
That is
Okay.
plastic. And this has all been verified from the manager. Yes,
These
Larry.
are all hard plastic still.
Yes,
Mhm.
these are all hard plastics.
So they go in with like the tubs and all that
Well,
kind of stuff?
if you notice, there's two containers
Oh,
at Mary
yes, I
Mart,
just
and
there
they're
yesterday.
black bags. I go with the black bags because I don't want you to get them confused with Remains that has the clear bags, but it's right next to two containers. One's round and one's square, so you can put them in there. I usually,
Well, I mean, at the recycle center is what I'm talking about. You know, and when we take that to the recycling center, I was just there yesterday recycling all my stuff.
okay,
So anyway, but I mean, there's hard plastics over there, and is that where the tubs and all that kind of stuff? That's seen chairs in there yesterday, all kinds of stuff.
all kinds of stuff they have there. And whoever wants to, I'm gonna go, I have a bag in my car from today's recycling. I can take you to my recycling center. It's only right up the street at West Pittman.
I know where it's at. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, I've been
and
there.
I
go
don't
there.
go to the bins that are outside. You know, they have bins for black and, you know, I don't do that anymore because I've talked to the guys and they said, Mary, you put all this little stuff in there and it's hard for us to get to.
Well,
So,
see.
so now they let me come down there and I just open my truck and they take it out and they'll put it in the crusher. And anything that's not recyclable, they'll bring it out and say, Mary, this is no good. And I said, okay. But you know, that's because those bags, they're just putting stuff in, okay? That's why I kind of want to make sure that what we're putting in the bags is recyclable. I will say these tapes and the cassettes, I liked them to go in a tub or something, okay? This one, I use this a lot to bring stuff to and from. But if you don't have a tub, we have tons of bad looking tubs in the trash area. So if you got a lot, like you had 4 boxes today that came. Well, yesterday, I don't know when they came, but that's what I went through today. Now they had lids on them. Carol, who does the Christmas, wants lids. So I took them and then put them in an old tub that looks not nice. So it's better when you put the VHSs and the cassettes in one tub.
In a tub. You
In
put
a
it
tub. If you don't have a tub, which I know you probably will, you just gotta go buy the trash behind the big dumpsters. We have probably 20 tubs back there
Yeah. there
that's
we
not been used. So I like these in tubs or boxes.
go. Oh,
Because
tubs
if you
and
put these in the bags, it makes holes.
yeah,
in the
you
bag.
can't put 'em in bags,
So
right?
these, and the CDs, I'd rather have them in tubs, okay? And if you don't wanna deconstruct it, that's fine. When I come in, I'll deconstruct it, no problem. Okay, so that's CDs, I talked about that. Now we're gonna go into small and large and toys, okay? So this is hard plastic. This is great. You just put it in the bag, okay? Just put it in the bag. Now this is an electronic toy. Now, I think I checked the batteries on that. The thing with electronic, all these electronics are recyclable. They ask you to take the batteries out, okay? Because then it doesn't mess up the system.
Are the batteries recyclable?
Yes, I will talk about that. I found a place this week to take batteries. So yes, they are recyclable. So this and the remote control are a separate big box they use. So any of these remote control, as long as you take out the batteries, are recyclable. And if for some reason you don't take out the batteries, that's all right too. What I would like though, if you're taking out the batteries, go ahead and leave it off. So then I know the batteries are out and I don't have to fool with it. You don't really have to put it back on.
Does the electronics place over here that recycles, will they take these toys?
This is, yes, Pittman, the St. Charles County, it's called,
It's a big warehouse.
West. It's called West. It's called Recycling Works West.
They won't take them?
They would take these.
Not as an electronic, no.
No, they take
They
these.
take it only as hard plastic.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I meant. Would they take them to recycle?
Well, Recycle is the recycling center on
Oh,
East
then
Pittman.
okay.
They
So
will
just
take
take
these.
out the batteries and they'll recycle that as hard plastic.
Yes.
Okay.
And they do, and the control units. And they put that in a different section, because what they wanna do is look at it a little bit closer to make sure it's all right. They showed me the big box they use. So any controllers, they put it in there, in this box, and then they look at it to make sure that it's got the stuff off. And it depends on which person you have that's helping you. I just let them do whatever they want. I'm not gonna say, you know, if they wanna put it where they wanna put it, it's up to them. But I've talked to the manager on all these things. Now this, we get a lot of baby bottles. Some doesn't have lids, some doesn't, you know. This is recyclable. This is actually hard recyclable because it's not squishy. So recyclable.
So Mary, if I made a run to the Recycle Works at the end of the day,
Yep, yes, yeah.
and I wanted to take some of these things, I don't know the manager and the crew.
If you wanna go, I have a field trip today. Whoever would like to go, because they've never been, will go there so you can see it. I'll show you what I do, so you'll know what you can do.
Okay, well, I've already been there, I know where it is, I make
Okay.
regular
Me too.
trips. But
Okay.
if I wanted to take some of this stuff from Mary Martha's and drop it off,
Yep.
could I put it in those bins that they have?
You can put it in the bins that they have.
Okay.
It's just easier for them because we use a lot of little toys. And what happens is, when they get a scooper there, they can put, it's a big tractor thing, and then it goes to these big equipments, and then they try to put it in there. Problem is, the little items that are in here, then they have to get it down, and then they gotta scoop it up. So it takes them time. So
Is
what
there
I'm,
something else that we could put that in before we put it in those easily accessible?
well, if you put it in like a container that's this and has a lid, that would be easier too. But that's kind of, we like lids for,
Right, we like to.
yeah. So anyway, you know how we put this, did I answer your question all right, honey? Okay. So you know how we have these bags of toys, okay. Now, the trick is, these are not recyclable. Now, these are, remains use these. There's a bin that is soft and hard toys. Remains takes these, so recycle them in there. And the only reason why I say that, we could give them to Habitat, but a couple of weeks ago I went to Habitat, and they told me what sells and what doesn't. And in fact, if you look at your Habitat, it'll tell you the toys really don't sell at Habitat. So to help them, because I'm afraid they're throwing stuff away we're giving them. You know what I mean? So I'd rather make sure that who we're gonna give it to, like this would go in remains. We've got 2 containers for remains. You just put them in remains, okay? I just brought one from your week. This is paper. This is recyclable. Now what I would do is I would take this string off because that's not really recyclable. So if it's got, like, even with your toys that, you know, you pull and it's with a string, I always take those strings off. Because it's not recyclable, the string. So this is all paper. It's recyclable.
Was that a fan?
Yes, and I could use it right now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right now. It is freaking hot right now. Oh, yeah, that feels so much better. Not really. It's not really. But anyway, it's paper. It's recyclable. Okay. Then we get a lot of things that are, now see this. Now this stuff you can come up and feel it. This is hard plastic. It's recyclable. The thing is, if it has liquid in it, like this one, it's not. Now if, and I just talked to the guy about it today because it was in this packet. And he said, if you can get the liquid out, we take it. And I said, well, I'll have to work on that to figure it out. But all these that are hards is recyclable, another recyclable item. Okay, these things that were in the bag, not recyclable. It looks like coasters.
Crocheted?
Yeah,
Oh,
crochet
crochet.
coat was in this thing for kids' toys. I don't know, I don't judge, but it was in there,
But
okay?
those could probably go in remains, couldn't they? Because they're like cloth.
Yes, it could go, yes, it could go in remains, because in remains, we get 3 cents per pound, is that correct? So this, if it's clothing, yes, put it in remains, that would go in the clothing side, okay? It wouldn't go in the toys for remains,
No.
but it would go on the clothing side, okay? So yes, thank you. Okay, this is a plastic thing, okay? That's recyclable. I'm just showing you what's
So hard
recyclable.
plastic or soft plastic?
That was soft.
This would be soft. But the guys pull out anything, because, you know, you guys are putting it in the black bags. I take the black bags, then they throw it in, and then they'll look and see. If it needs to go in a certain area, they'll pull it in and put it in a certain area. Okay, and then these are all hard things. And this one's got water in it somehow. But these are all hard plastic. And this is the thing we were talking about. They like it that I come there and throw it in the bag, because then they just can throw it in the container instead of shoveling it. So these are all recyclable. Okay, and this is recyclable. Now, again, this is material, and I would say we could put this in the clothing area, because it is. Now, who's clothing here? Who does clothing a lot? I would think this would be all right for remains. That's what my theory is.
What is it?
It's like a
Scrunchie?
scrunchie. Scrunchie for
Oh, for your
hair.
hair.
For hair,
Yeah.
scrunchie.
We usually
Oh, okay.
keep those on the, we have them by the, register.
Oh, and you give them away? Okay,
No,
that's
we-
fine.
You know, we display them and people will buy maybe 10 of them
Oh,
for such and
okay,
such.
well, another
Or
option.
bows.
We got a
that
den
kind
for
of
all
thing.
that kind of stuff for hair stuff.
Okay,
Yeah,
there you go.
50
Then you can
cents.
put it on the other side, on the clothing side. Now, the thing that they don't like is when,
On the household side.
Huh?
It's on the household.
It goes on the household
a
side.
household side. Okay, thank you. The household
Got
side,
bins
there's a
for that.
bin, oh,
I don't know why, it doesn't make sense. It should be on clothes.
Yeah, we got a lot of other hair
It's on
stuff
the
and
household
everything
side.
too.
the only thing that they don't like is they don't mind all this little stuff, but they don't want it to be put in here. So when you, basically on Mondays, when you pull everything, they would rather you take it out and find out what's recyclable and what's not. And the only reason why I said I'd rather do it to recycle, because I know Habitat, they don't do these. And I think they're just getting thrown away. So,
Do they want this stuff though, if we take it out of the bag and it's, you
Yeah.
know, sometimes we get some really nice, say metal cars or something really nice. Does Habitat want that?
Habitat will take that.
But they're not selling toys very much.
They're not selling
That's what I'm
toys very
asking.
much. If you got a metal toy, a
Well,
metal
sometimes
car,
we get
that
those-
would be put in, you can give it to Habitat, but the toys aren't really selling that much. So you can put it in the metal section.
Put them in toys, kids buy, they buy
Yes.
those.
But these are things that were pulled. You know what I'm
I think they
saying?
go on Monday, so-
These are things that are pulled on Monday.
Totally.
Yeah, and so we usually have to give them to remains, or we have to give it to Habitat. And the thing that I'm concerned about, yes, we could give this all to Habitat, but they said in an email to us that they're throwing a lot of our stuff away. And that's why I wanted to start this, so we don't throw
What's the point?
stuff, yeah, what's the point?
Was that recently that we got that email? Was it recently?
You know who did it was Kay. Kay, this was probably, it was before I started the program.
Okay.
Kay sent an email out and it said, you know, they don't want these things. I
That
can
must
give
have
you,
been when we started with this policy. If we don't wanna put it on the floor,
Right.
Yeah.
then we don't
absolutely.
send it to
Right.
remain. So
Right.
that's why lately, we've been sending them when we pull, because we did put it on the floor and thought it was good. See?
Yeah.
That's where we were coming from with it.
yeah. Well, I'm thinking this is the stuff that we're pulling that we don't want. Our stuff that is in very not good condition, what do we do with it? You know, if it's not in good condition, I'd rather it be recycled, because it's not going to Habitat and they're not using it. That's the
Well,
big
and
thing.
even on this Habitat list, there's no place, they don't say they're asking for toys.
Yeah, and by the way, that list is from each website. So it's not things I did. I went to their website, copied it all, and I put it there. So that's what they're saying they're accepting. Now, if you go to county's website, they don't accept VHSs, but since they know I deconstruct it, they'll take mine, okay?
So much junk, toys that were broken.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, we'll send it to Habitat.
And-
That's how it started.
Yes,
Everybody
Habitat was
said
getting,
everything Habitat that we didn't want, so they sent it, okay, we're just throwing it in a box and send it to them. It's toys that didn't work.
toys that
It
didn't
should've
work.
been,
And
you know,
that's how the email, I think, was created, and I think it was Kay,
it was
because
Kay.
Kay was doing that, and it was last year, you know, when Kay was in the, thing, okay? Yes, Larry?
What's wrong with the bags?
Well, it's
That-
not
That looks like
recyclable.
plastic to me.
It's not recyclable. That's the thing that's,
Wrong time.
long time, they haven't
What kind of
recycled.
plastic?
Well, you know what I do with these bags? I give it back to our little people, our people, and they can reuse these bags, and stick another sticker on top of it. Because it doesn't have a hole in it, so you can reuse these bags back there. So that's why I kinda like to go through with it while I'm there, because all this stuff that I know they don't take, we can reuse it, you know? Put a new sticker on top of it with your color and your price. You know, it didn't sell at 75 cents, but it depends on what's in there.
Years ago, they came out with the 3 new Rs: renew, reuse, and recycle.
Yeah,